my son was born, I was taking some pictures of him, posted on social media, and I had 2 families within an hour say, "Can we book you?" And I didn't know what to do. I was just kind of, so at some points I was shooting in black and white, and it was like, look how cool I am. They were like, can we get in the color? I was like, huh? You want what? So yeah, I made $400 in 2 hours and was like, you gonna learn and you're gonna make this into something. I studied. Some people just grab a camera and think they can start a business out of nowhere.
What up, though, Black Fridays family? Welcome back to another installment of the Black Fridays podcast. I am joined here by my lovely wife, Miss Amanda Turner. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Good to see you.
You too.
And of course, we are joined by another special guest. As you know, we are continuing our series where we are interviewing the different Black-owned businesses, the vendors for our lovely, big, Black, beautiful wedding. And today we have our lovely, world-famous photographer, Miss Kai Davis, in the building with us.
Hi.
So, Kai, how was it? I'll jump right into it. How was it working with us?
Wow. Okay. Their wedding, hands down, was one of the most elegant events I have ever been to. And I shoot tons of weddings. I've been shooting for about 13 years. So when I walked into that venue, I was like, yeah, it was beautiful. So, and then the couple, Denzel and Amanda, are absolutely amazing. So it was just easy. And Amanda was so calm. She was so calm. I was like, you okay? She said, yeah, I'm fine. But the small details, and I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys heard of some of the details and the things, the gifts that they gave each other, to the jerseys. It was just, everything was just beautiful. So yes.
Thank you.
It was an honor. I was like, oh my goodness.
It was an honor to have you.
Yay.
Like we were very grateful. And we loved how excited you were to work with us, and we were excited. So it's like, oh, this is great energy. But is that not normally the case when you ask people, like, are they good or are they calm? Or
There's some brides where I sometimes will just stay behind.
like, I give you a minute.
And I'm like, okay, I had one right before you guys who freaked out about her makeup, and I kind of gave her the smile and the assurance that everything was fine. And she was just rolled her eyes a little bit. And I said, I'm going to leave her alone for a second. Mm-hmm. But that's the nature of getting business. A wedding and dreaming about it forever and then being in the moment. Mm-hmm. And so I always say my thing is just being the best friend in Black with a camera that day. And whatever you need, I'm there for you. So. Yeah,
and you definitely helped me get that dress train through Eastern Market. You was like, you just hold your dress, I'll hold anything else. And I'm like, thank you, because this thing is heavy.
We were trekking down Eastern Market.
Literally. I was like, okay, but thank you.
You're welcome.
And I was telling Amanda on the way here that one thing that you helped me, because obviously when you knee deep in wedding planning, it's not always fun. It wasn't fun for me at once it got to a certain point, because you're just trying to manage so many different things. But I was telling Amanda that you helped kind of re-energize me prior to the wedding because of your incitement of the different vendors that we had, that you had a rapport with, had worked with before. And then like you were like, oh yeah, this gonna be a dope wedding. And I was like, okay, we might be on to something. And we had no idea you all worked with each other. We just like literally found people like via Instagram. I believe you and Brandon Full Films, who we had connected with on the podcast as well, found you all on Instagram. I think even our designer was via Instagram as well.
Wow.
Yeah, MPQ. So yeah, your excitement got me ready. I'm like, okay, yeah, this might be a shindig.
Wow. Yeah. We're not a team, but I feel like Shania, Brandon, Lorna, we all just work together very well. And when I knew you were in great hands with Lorna, with Posh and Prem, I was like, you're good. You know, everything's going to be boom, boom, boom. And so I got excited. And I was like, you know, in my head, I'm like, I hope they book me, because it gives me room to be creative. Yeah. And so when you're working with people you don't know, it's like, you kind of like, what you doing?
You don't know what that
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of being a creative, can you talk to us about how your journey with photography started? Is this something that happened at a young age? Are you professionally trained in it? Where did this kind of come from?
Okay. Well, my son is 13 now. And so I started liking photography just a little bit. We did some family photos. And my husband got me a small power shot. camera. And so he went back after our family photo shoot and talked to the photographer, Nicole Adams, who was amazing, kind of helped me out a little bit when I first started. So long story short, I was playing around, went to my brother's wedding. My camera was stolen. Completely stolen. I kind of think I know who took it, but anyways.
If you out there, we looking for you.
Yes. So once my son was born, I was taking some pictures of him, posted on social media, and I had 2 families within an hour say, "Can we book you?" And I didn't know what to do. I was just kind of, so at some points I was shooting in black and white, and it was like, look how cool I am. They were like, can we get in color? I was like, huh? You want what? So yeah, I made $400 in 2 hours and was like, you gonna learn and you're gonna make this into something. I studied. Some people just grab a camera and think they can start a business out of nowhere. I studied the different aspects of photography. I had to teach myself. I was shooting in automatic for a while until I went over to manual. But then I learned about babies and maternity and seniors and families. And I created my own way of shooting and I ran with it. And so, yeah. And then I started working for Kitty Candids, which used to be in, what is it called? Babies R Us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they put me in sales and they wouldn't put me on camera. And I always feel like when I want to do something and I'm so eager to do it, I go through it a different way and I learn the things that I need to know and then I kill it. That's not in a boastful way.
That's just your process.
Thank you. So when I learned sales, I was closing every sale, even with weddings when I talked to somebody. And I was grateful that they put me in sales first. When I actually got behind a camera and it was stuck in the ceiling and you had to take pictures and stuff, I was like, put me back in sales. Put me back in sales. So yeah, I'm very grateful for my startup. So I'm a self-taught photographer.
Very nice.
That's a long answer.
No, that was, we want to know the history. We want to know the background. So you started off with babies. And then of course you shot our wedding and you told us a little bit that you also do holiday shoots. Any other particular like arena or like these are kind of like my specialties, or you kind of feel like I'm like all around or?
Well, babies was scary. And I had a military father who hadn't met his daughter yet. And he finally came home and he had to kind of prop him up and he yelled at me. And from then I was like, well, first of all, you got to leave my house because I had home studios and I had to dismiss the client because he scared me. I was like, whoa. So children, and I started shooting children or photographing children and families. But my main thing that I love to do is editorial work. So editorial style shoots. I host my own workshops. I love to create atmospheres where other creatives can come and participate, pay for their ticket, but they're getting content. So that's something I love to do. I love getting published. It's been published a couple times. I'm trying to gear towards some really, really big major ones, but we talked about your wedding.
Right.
You're going to submit.
Fingers crossed.
Editorial work and weddings is my main gig. At the end of the year, I make room for my regular reoccurring clients, and we have fun with the holidays. So cookie making, we saw all types of things we do for the holidays. So for pictures.
Very cool.
Very nice. So now, Kai, I would like to introduce you to my favorite part of Black Fridays, which is Freestyle Fridays. And I know that you have a bit of a musical background, so we're going to need you to freestyle.
No. What? You want me to rap or sing? Oh, Lord.
Well, what we know you can do, you probably can do both, but we know for sure you can sing, but you don't have to do either. Oh. It's just a random assortment of questions. They all about you, so you should get them all right, and we just ask that you answer each one and you answer honestly.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to kick us off. What is the most random job that you ever had?
Oh, my gosh. When I was young, I used to go to African Fest. I'm Canadian. I'm from Canada.
Wait, what?
It's a lot. Y'all don't know.
We learned a lot about Kai today.
About Kai today. So many new things.
What you gonna tell us, Tamia, your cousin, next?
I grew up knowing Tamia, though, because her best friend, Simone Washington, used to live in my neighborhood. And Tamia used to come to our door and sell her her tapes. And my dad's a pastor, and he would be like, I don't want that stuff. And I'm like, Dad, she was just trying to make her money. So yes, I've met Tamia before.
So you inadvertently responsible for the Tamia hustle.
And I don't know how to do it. I get stuck in this part.
Neither one of us can do it.
I just want to Drew Hill part. When I think about you, like, sorry.
No, that was a well needed detour. But so you're from Canada. That's where we started.
I'm from Canada. So we used to do these little African fest, and my aunt would come over with these little beads, and I know how to make jewelry. I used to have a jewelry company. It's something new too. I feel crazy saying all these things you guys don't know. And so we would make these beautiful bracelets and really beautiful beadwork, and we would sell them. And that was an awkward job because they would get drunk at the African Fest and everyone's dancing. And my sister and I would have so much fun dancing after we would do our little sales. And we would make money. And it was fun. Random.
I like it.
There we go. Like and I was like 12.
Wow.
Maybe a little younger. But it was fun.
Okay, so we have learned again so much about you.
No,
we are
Lord.
continuing to learn. My question is, if you had to do any other job, since you have had many that you are telling us about now, besides being a photographer, if you had to go back to one for the rest of your life, what would you do?
One that I've done or one that I wish I could do?
Whichever your choice.
I would like to be an investigator for crimes.
Yep. You watch the murder like shows?
Not murder. I would do the first 48.
Okay.
Because I want to solve.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's weird.
It's not.
But and I actually was asked to join the police academy, and I would have to go through and do photography for it. But you actually have to go through the police training and everything. Like they don't just put someone behind the camera and say, take a picture of that scene. Like
They
you have to
know
be able to, pew back if you need to.
Yeah. That might be important.
Random.
Wow.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I've noticed about you that you are very into fashion and to putting looks together. You be putting some fits together. So I want to know what's your fall fashion tips? Give the folks some tips on how they can look nice this fall season.
This fall season, I'm on the trench coat, the baseball cap, the Air Force Ones, and some sweatpants. That's my mom pickup outfit.
Your standard? Yes, your uniform.
That's my standard. You know, and if you ain't got on the makeup, you put the glasses on and you just look like a Kardashian. I love boots, sweaters for fall time. You cannot go wrong. So, and then I'm dramatic. And if you ask my husband, Andre, I have so much clothes and I'm literally giving it to my daughters. And then I pack up things that I haven't worn in a while and I give it away. And I give it back to, business people or people that are starting off or trying to have clothes for interviews and all that. I just kind of, donate my stuff. So, because I have too much clothes. I won't say too much. I had a shopping problem. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I'm working on it.
Okay.
Pray for me.
All
Pray for me.
Can you help my wife out?
Do you have it too? I almost
should talk.
cheered her with my chair.
Say he should talk, but he got a shoe problem. But I have a glasses problem.
That's my new problem. I'm trying to get into.
Okay.
So we all have our issues.
We do.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful.
Yes, we have our things. My question for you is, if you had to shoot with one camera for the rest of your career, what would it be?
I like my R6. And that's just because that's my main camera right now. So I would say that or one better than that one, but the Canon R6. It's mirrorless. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
And last but not least, you said that you used to sing.
Ooh.
And I'm assuming you grew up singing in church?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm a PK.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What's your, where do you fall in terms of singing voices? Like what's the, I don't know the proper terminology, but yeah.
Soprano, alto.
Okay.
Both.
Okay.
Kimberell was something that I used to, it was my Kimberell, Mariah, Brandy, and a little bit of Beyonce. But yeah, growing up, that's what I used to. And a little Celine Dion because I'm Canadian.
Of course.
Her range.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Well, congrats to you. You successfully passed Freestyle Fridays. We even got some bonus information there that we did not know that we was going to get. But shout out to you. Shout out to Canada as well for allowing us to get Kai. And wanted to...
Thanks for sharing your talent.
Thank you. That is funny.
And I wanted to get back into more so of the business aspect of what it is that you do. And so could you share with us how long you have been on this entrepreneurship journey? Seems like it started young for you, or earlier on, just as far as like the stuff that you used to sell at the World African Festivals and things like that. But obviously, you know, there's something in you that's continued throughout the years. So just wondering how long you've been full-time entrepreneurship, and let us in a little bit more on the type of services you've been providing for folks over the years.
Okay, awesome. So non-related for photography, as far as just running businesses or being in that mindset, we're going on 19 years of marriage this year, my husband Andre and I.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
Congrats.
Yes, 20 next year. We're going to get that upgrade.
There we go. It's on tape too. So
Yay, there you go. Thank you, baby. I love you. So when we were engaged, he said, "What are you talented with, and how can we raise money?" He was in college getting his master's, and I was still singing, and I started creating floral pieces. So that's why I do a lot of my own style shoots. Then I had Beauty on Me, which was a jewelry company. I pushed my jewelry company down to my daughters, and so I have been doing this for 24 years almost, as far as just being creative. I'm an artist. I like painting. I do a lot of commission work with paint. And with photography, it's just been something that was a hobby at first, and now it's a passion. And if I decided not to shoot weddings ever again, it's still something that I will get a joy and fulfillment out of, just being creative and still being able to express myself. I'm always looking to better and be better than Kai. I have no one in competition with me. I am in competition with myself. And my next goal is, how are you going to shoot your next wedding better than how you shot that one? Or what are you going to better your skills, and how we're going to learn something new in order to reach the potential that I probably will never reach, because I'm always setting the bar higher for myself. So long answer.
Very nice. Very nice.
So you mentioned when we were talking about like you do editorial, that's your favorite.
Yes.
How does like editorial differ from like doing or preparing for a wedding shoot? Because I've also seen you do like some editorial like wedding shoots as well. Mm-hmm. So what's that process like for you?
As far as setting up an editorial shoot, or
setting it up, and maybe even just how you like envision it or preparation.
Oh, wow. So I create a mood board, and I'll spend a certain amount of time on Pinterest, and I go, okay, I like that. And I create a board. And then I start looking for my resources. And then I build my team. Once the team is in set, we make sure the date and location is set. And I like to collaborate. So it's more of, you can pay people, but when you team up with someone, Shania and I have done some amazing style shoots together, MPQ. And I gave her the vision and she ran with it. And then you get your models, you get your dress, you get your jewelry, and then it's go time with your florist, and it's go time in the day of. It's more like a playground, just like how I set up here at the Onyx. You just make a atmosphere where you're able just to be creative with no timeline, no wedding timeline, no guests, no family, no having to do this. And it's just me being able to spend more time to be creative and capture what I want for portfolio, for website, for marketing, for everything else, and for submissions, for, editorial work. So. And then I try to take that same aspect for my brides and not just shoot one way and then with the brides shoot another way. Mm-hmm. And I like to put that artistic vibe for my couples. So, yeah.
And speaking of being a creative, do you ever find it challenging to do the business aspects of like entrepreneurship? Because I know that that's a challenge for a lot of creatives, where it's like, look, I just want to be able to do my thing, get into my zone, all that taxes and finding all that other stuff, like I could care less about. But some people can find harmony. But what about you?
Yeah. For me, it's just when people don't want to join or people don't want to do it, I do it myself. And that was something hard. I don't know if I'm going on your answer or your question.
Yeah.
It was something hard starting off being an African American photographer. And I don't always, if you look at my portfolio, I cover just about everyone.
Diverse audience.
It's very diverse.
Yes.
And it was hard at first, having to even wanting to do editorial work and having people to trust to work with me. And there was clicks. And it hurt. And there was people that was like, oh, we only work over here. And you're like, okay. So I learned how to stylize my own cakes. I learned how to make my own bouquets. I learned how to make my own invitation suites because I wasn't going to let it hinder my creativity. And now I get people like, you want to collaborate? And I'm like,
Now you want to talk.
boop. I don't know if I answered your question, but
You did, yeah.
Very much
right.
so.
All right.
And speaking of entrepreneurship, and you mentioned we are in an exclusive location today because Kai has invited us into her brand new studio, the Onyx Collective Studio. Can you tell us a little bit about the space that we are in, the vision, and how we got here?
Very emotional situation for me. They are the first people to actually walk in here. That is not my husband and my sister and one of my children. It's been a long time coming, and I'm sorry. I am an emotional being.
Oh, let it flow.
Yeah,
Let it flow.
Woo! Anyways, it's been a long time coming. I've shared spaces. I've given my all and helped people with their spaces, only to kind of be nudged out and no love lost. But I was in search of a studio for this year. This wasn't on my radar. When I tell you this was not on my radar. And I went to one photographer and she was like, yeah, she wanted me to stylize. It was someone in Ferndale. She wanted me to stylize and she's so sweet. And then she was like, I'm going to charge you. Boom. And I'm like, I'm going to stylize. My stuff is going to be here, but you're going to charge me what? Okay, that doesn't make sense. And I just looked at her place and I said, Lord, I need my own. Didn't see it coming. Husband was really, really tight with finances. He was like, babe, you don't need that. Just collect your weddings. Do what you got to do. Let's save for our baby's going to college next year. And I'm like, okay, babe. And then one day I was explaining it to him and I was like, babe, he said, why don't you just start seeing if there's empty spaces these places that just can't lease out and see if they'll do a lease to lease or month to month. Excuse me. Lease to lease is funny. I don't know what that means, y'all. Do a lease to lease. A month to month. And it was about to be downtown Farmington, nice space up the street from my home, not too far. And it just was not hitting for me. And when I found this place, I was like, whew, okay. And then I heard how much it was and I was like, ooh, okay. And then Dre was like, move forward. And when I closed, he was at work and I didn't have anyone here with me and I cried. I laid where Amanda's phone is on this little stand over here. And I had the key in my hand and I laid on this little pedestal area and I cried. And I sat in the middle of this floor and I thanked God. And then I started my business plan and I said, I need money to put some stuff in here. I got a lot of furniture, y'all. I probably got makeup on my couch, but I don't lie. I told Amanda I was going to put some plastic on this couch.
Like at your grandma's
Yes,
Right.
where you get stuck. So yeah, it just happened. And my husband was like, get what you need for the studio. And he gave me a budget. I don't know if I stick to it. But anyways.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, we stuck to a budget, but I got a plan, baby. But yeah, we are in the Onyx Collective Studio, and I decided not to have it a part of Kai Davis Photography because it's a whole different. I just wanted a place where creatives can come and have a good time. We're doing a podcast here. We're going to be able to do content for the holidays. Influencers can come in with their tripods. Photographers can rent it out. I just wanted a place where people can. We don't have content studios in Michigan.
Right.
We have photography studios,
Plenty.
but I haven't seen a content studio where it kind of feels like, something that you see on TikTok, but better. So yeah.
To that point, are you familiar with the Motown portraits off of what is that? Livernois?
They have a studio?
Yeah, so that I was referencing that because growing up, that's where everybody took their high school pictures.
Oh,
so like that
wait.
was the
Oh,
only
yes.
like
They
that was
took
like the only
ours.
studio that
They took mine.
Yeah, that's the only studio that people would go to pretty much. But now you have the Q11s of the world. You have I think Motown Port is still
Amazing.
operating.
Yeah, Prestige came up out of that too.
Prestige,
Okay.
CJ Hart. Like you have different
and
people
they're
like
amazing.
doing.
There's some
Yeah.
my friends. They're my friends in amazing spaces, in their photography studios. And I don't have a backdrop. I mean, we can do it if people request, but we don't have, the backdrops that come down. I just wanted it to be a comfortable environment. And this is not a knock to any other these people that Denzel mentioned are killing the game.
For sure.
And I, clap off to your creativity and your businesses. I need headshots, Q11. So, hey. But yeah, it's just a place where it's just something that came out of here and get to express myself. And I'm changing it up. It's not always going to be the same. Every 3 months, we'll change the vibe in here. So it's always new, fresh content for people that want to rent it out.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So this walk will look different in a couple months.
Well, it's a very, very beautiful space.
Thank you.
And you've done an amazing job. And thank you for letting us to be the first ones to come in here.
Yep.
So
I love you guys.
We love you.
Thank you.
We're grateful.
So I want to get into, we had talked about this a little bit beforehand before we recorded, but the first opportunity we got a chance to work with you, same as Brandon, because you all worked in tandem that day for our engagement shoot, which turned out phenomenal and was lovely, but wasn't the easiest for a lot of reasons. One of the reasons was, location was, it was a little dainty, call it what it is. So, but we powered through that and we got the shots that we needed. But the situation that we talked about Brandon with, wanted to get your perspective on is that day we all had to, unify together and fight racism, and just wanted to first and foremost, me and Amanda are grateful for you, Brandon, and then Asari, who was Amanda's maid of honor in the wedding, for our team and community for making us feel protected, making us feel loved and valued that day. Granted, the situation that was happening and what's going on in that instance, but just wanted to get your take and your perspective, because I had you were apologizing because you had popped off, but I'm like, no, I appreciate that because.
I can't believe I was about to say, I hope he don't mention. I hope he doesn't mention. I popped off. I did. I think I may have cussed. And
I was perfectly fine with that because I couldn't, because she wouldn't let me. So
okay,
yeah,
you probably got the nudge, like
exactly.
don't do it, baby.
He did.
And that was different. I'm used to it. Being a photographer, there's this one lady in Birmingham that doesn't even want me to walk in front of her venue. Very popular venue. And as soon as she sees me with my camera, she stands outside and and I'm like, oof. So unfortunately that day we did run into someone that did not want us walking near or in front of the venue. We weren't in it. We weren't making disruption. We weren't loud music or anything. And as you see in this whole entire video, I'm very giddy and very ha ha he ha. But it brought it up. And the guy was like, what? I may have called him an a-hole. But it was rude. And I even hated the fact that I had to come out of character.
Right.
But we're going to run into unnecessary people in unnecessary situations. And he was dumb because they could have wanted to book. And I think they said they were looking at booking
literally
their venue.
Yep.
And same thing with Birmingham. I was like, you were on their list, but we're going to make sure we leave you a nice review. Because the thing of the matter is the sidewalk isn't your sidewalk. But I pushed through, and I love the fact that they're so open and they actually didn't judge me because I was worried about that afterwards.
Not at all.
But even Brandon was like, man.
Yes,
my country friend Brandon. I hope you're watching this, Brandon. You're so country. But yeah, he was like, all right, man, but it was unfortunate. We still got our shots. I think we didn't move, and I still got those shots. Those are the last ones at the end of your thing. So, Yeah, it was different. But again, like I was saying, being in the industry and being a woman or a man of color, we're going to run into these things. And I run into vendors that are super nice, and then I run into some that just make you feel like you're nothing. And it only amps me to be better at what I do and go harder for what I know. And then, catch the enemy because I'm still moving forward.
That's a bar.
Yeah. Boom. See, I just rapped. Hey.
So I got a freestyle off.
Oh my gosh.
But no, we really, really appreciated you and Brandon that day. There was no judgment. We were grateful. We left. I was like, oh, they the squad.
Yeah.
Like, I love them.
Yep.
We had y'all's back.
Yeah, we was like, I love them. It was a heck of a day to meet, but very, very grateful. And like you said, nonetheless, we had an amazing shoot. So all is well.
And for any folks that are, I know one of our aspirations is to be able to have a space where we would be able to a multi-purpose space essentially for either creation or business purposes, things like that. I know some other creators out there that are looking to be able to try to develop and get their own space. And I just want to know if you had any advice, any words of wisdom or words of confidence that would help folks like us and anybody else as to why they should go after it and possibly, how you can actually get it done.
Absolutely. So my fear was not finding a space. But if you look everywhere when you're driving, you see empty spaces of real estate. And the majority of them say lease. So my mission for, I think, 3 weeks, my husband gave me a time frame, is continue to research, continue to go, and don't stop at your nose. Never stop at your nose, because there's always going to be a yes somewhere down the line. And I didn't see it. I didn't get a 5-year lease. I was looking for someone that was willing to do 3 months to a certain amount of time and then month to month, because I'm looking to grow and expand. I was just telling Amanda and Denzel, we're already looking for Studio B and, to continue to build out. And so I would say never let a no stop you from reaching your goals. And don't always share your vision and dream with everybody, because not everybody got that dream and vision when you got it. And you're going to have a lot of people that say no. You're going to have a lot of people that say you can't do it. You're going to have people talk about you and say, oh, who do they think they are? Continue to work towards your vision and your dreams. And sometimes you got to just zip it up, and whoever's closer to you, you just talk to them and you talk to God and you keep moving. And then everything will follow. And get a mentor. Sometimes it's great to get a mentor as well, because they can help you out. But I would say that there are spaces out there. I did not see this coming. Again, I was just going to rent somebody's studio for a couple months and then be about my business. But just write your vision down, make it plain, and run after it.
Love it.
Yeah.
You mentioned possibly getting a mentor. Do you have a mentor, or do you mentor any up and coming photographers, or what's that like for you?
So I do have a mentor in photography. She is one of the best. I mean, her wedding started $45,000. And I learned from her. I do have friend mentors. One of my good friends, Megan Ward, she is a phenomenal woman. And I can talk to her anytime I need her. And she was a mentor in the past of mine. And so we went from mentorship to mentee to this my girl. And I can talk to her, and she encourages me anytime I need it. And you need people like that in your life. And then I am working on my course. But I do have photographers that call, and they are just starting off. They send me their portfolios, and I give them baby steps, because you don't want to give somebody the meat, or you want to give them everything. But I do have people that shadow me and that come on sessions, learn. And so, yeah, eventually I'll open up my academy of learning for photographers to start building up. So
very nice. And I was curious, because you take such nice and lovely, elegant photos that, and you've been published in different publications before. Could you tell us why that would be important for anybody who's like up and coming in photography or interested in getting photography, maybe even a hobbyist who's just like, you know, that might be an aspiration, on why that's important? Because I also know a lot of creators who are stingy with their work and like, if I want to hold on to it forever. But why is it important to share those things in those type of publications or in different spaces?
Because not everyone starting off gets their lavish weddings, and it takes you years to build a portfolio. So I've traveled very far to shoot in lavish castles and places and, beautiful settings. And I invest in myself and my business, but being able to create that for someone that's just starting off, who people really don't trust for their weddings, and giving her the place or him to be able to capture and build their portfolio is something that I love to provide for people. Because once you get a couple of those under your belt, and you put the right wording, use AI, get your stuff looking like you've been doing it for years, you're going to start booking. But there's also a lot of groundwork. because you get to someone's wedding and everything's grainy. It's like, or overexposed or underexposed, and you are a fraud. So it's just, and it gives you just a place to, learn. So.
You mentioned in terms of like traveling for doing weddings. And so what's the furthest you've ever been, and kind of what has been your favorite location to shoot at?
Oh my goodness. So I'm still waiting on that big destination wedding.
You heard it here first.
Hey, because Paris, it's a lake something. It's not in
Victoria?
my head. No, not Lake Victoria, Surface of the Sea. It'll come to me. It's beautiful.
Okay.
But anyways, I would like to go to Paris and stuff like that. But I went to, what was my biggest style shoot I went to? I went to Houston, but it was Style Shoots of America. And she does lavish. Floral stuff coming down balconies and stairs. And it's like 6 or 7 editorial luxury sets. So that it's, I went to Palm Springs and Joshua Tree in a desert. And I think that was my favorite. My least favorite part of that is kicking a cactus. And Did
you encounter the jumping choyas, the ones that
I didn't see no choyas.
you? Or they're cactus.
I didn't see no choyas. I ain't see no choyas.
I didn't even hear what she said. I'm like, who was Toya?
They're cacti. So my bachelorette trip was in Arizona, and we did a little shoot in the desert, and the photographer's like, watch out for the jumping choyas. And it's like, what is that? And it's just like these little cacti, but like if you even brush past them, they literally attach and jump on you. They're painful.
Are they alive?
That sounds crazy. I have no idea.
Shoot.
It is painful.
First of all, I like that session that you're talking about. Is that your profile picture?
Yeah.
Hey.
Thank you.
I paid attention. I was like, I know what she's talking about. It was cactus out there, but I was the photographer that actually had the snake venom thing that came out your skin. Because if I got bit, I was ready to pull it out my bag and pull the venom out my skin.
Right.
And so I wasn't playing, but there was scorpions and everything. And I had my stuff on the floor and wasn't paying attention. And at home, I heard something in my room. In my head, I was like, a scorpion's in your room. I tore that thing up. I said, Lord, what's in my room? I don't even know what. It probably was my dog. But it scared me. But yeah, Palm Springs was my favorite in Joshua Tree. It's off the grid. So if you get lost, you're going to go hours in. And once it gets dark, there's no light. You just see like literally what you see in space. You kind of see all that pretty,
the constellation,
everything.
Okay,
you see God. Yeah, no, you don't.
You might.
You see God.
You might.
And there's God.
Lord, I need to get home.
Hey God.
It's me again.
It's me again.
How do you prepare for some of these exquisite photo shoots that you do? Like what goes through Kai's mind when you're getting prepared at the house, packing up your cameras or your equipment, and you getting ready to hit the road and go wherever? Like what's going through your mental?
Do I have everything? I just shot for the Hilton. My friend is an ambassador. So her and her family go on trips, and then I follow them with my camera and I take videos. And it's fun. I relax and then I work. and I left something at home I needed, which is fine because it wasn't a part of what I was offering my client. But I was like, Amazon wasn't getting it in time. And I was like, whoa. Best Buy didn't have it. The lady didn't speak English. And I was like, oh my goodness. But it's just not having your batteries, or I get stopped at TSA because in my travel kit, it looks like I have a bomb or something because it's literally a fanny pack full of batteries. I'm like, man, what is this? And I'm like, it's batteries. I'm a photographer. When they opened it, it was like, you're right, it's batteries. I was like, well, what else did you think I had? I told you it was batteries. He was like, why do you have so many batteries? Like, I have this flash, needs to flash off, and then I need these batteries for my camera. And I'm like, ma'am, do you need all those? I was like, absolutely, I do. I do.
Have everything.
I do.
Right.
Yep.
And another question that I wanted to know was, what's in the future for Kai Davis Photography, the Honest Collective? What do you see in your crystal ball, or things that you would aspire to do? Any possible collaborations, any special events or anything like that? What's on the horizon?
Wow. Well, I want to expand the studio to a bigger space. I'm already drawing out my build out because this one's going to be the one. And so just hoping for a lot of natural light for that one. As far as Kai Davis Photography, relaunching the website soon. So it's going to be fresh content, fresh look. My goal is to have a team so that I don't have to shoot every wedding. If I do, it's a premium. But being able to just be able to capture more. And then videography is a new thing for me. And so Brandon, who you guys just interviewed, is going to be teaching me everything that I need to know. And I told him, I was like, hands down, I am a student and I want to know. I am going to be a hybrid, but never shoot a wedding. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I love telling a story, but I won't say never, but I just don't see me doing that for a wedding because I love to shoot stills. Mm-hmm. And so, shooting everything else with the videography is something that I will be moving into in 2024. So, yeah.
Very nice.
Shout out to Expansion.
Hey now.
Could you let everybody know where they can find you, socials, website, all that good contact information for you?
Sure. All right. So Kai Davis Photography, my wedding photography site is www.kdpwedding.com. You can find me on IG at Kai Davis Photography. That's KAI. And then the Onyx Collective on IG is just Onyx Collective Studio, and the website will be launching within the next few days. So, and that's simple, onyxcollectivestudio.com. So, yay. And then Perispace, I will be on there too, so that we can get a bigger reach.
Yes.
A bigger reach, because people need it from out of state.
Absolutely.
For movies, for anything you think of. So being able to do that.
Very nice. Well, Kai, we thank you for your time today and pulling up to the podcast. We also thank you for your service. Me and Amanda also talked about the fact that this woman stayed overtime, and she was not paid extra or incentivized or asked. Like, she was like, look, no, I'm staying for this one shot. And she stayed and we did it. So we gratefully appreciate that.
And it was a good shot with them sprinklers. It was fun. Or whatever, sparklers. I said sprinklers. It's late. No, but it was fun. And then I never danced at a wedding the way I danced at y'all's. And then they had custom cigars and everything. It was just beautiful. It was beautiful.
Thank
you. Thank you. And you helped make the day special, so we really appreciate it.
Yay.
So make sure that y'all tap in with Kai. Make sure that you check out the Honest Collective. And for all the folks that's watching it, we'll tap in with y'all soon. Peace.